In factoring section 2B here, we just got done with 2A where factoring when A was equal to 1. Now we're going to look at factoring when A is not equal to 1. In other words, in front of that squared term, if you remember now, it's AX squared plus BX plus C. When we have a trinomial, A is always what's in front of x squared, B is always what's in front of x, and C is the number of the constant term. Okay, and what we did when A was equal to 1, it's called AC factoring. We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to look at number 12 here. I have 7n squared plus n plus 1n minus 6. So 7n squared plus n, and I'm going to put the 1 in front of that, and then minus 6. So there's our trinomial we're going to factor. What you need to do is basically what we did in section A is now that in section A was equal to 1. Well, now A is 7. This is A. C is negative 6 on this one. So I need to do 7 times negative 6, which is negative 42. So I want to look at a product being negative 42. And then I want to have the sum be what's on in this case, the n term. B is always what's in front of the variable to the first power. So I want a sum of 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list factors of negative 42. Now, 42's got a lot of factors, so let's start listing them. 1 and negative 42, 2 and negative 21, 3 and negative 14, 6 and negative 7. Okay, again, to get a negative product, we got to have one of each sign, and then we can have 7 and negative 6, 14 and negative 3, 21 and negative 2, and 42 and negative 1. Now remember, you want to pick the pair that adds up to or has a sum of 1, which is the B value, what's in front of n in this case. So if I go down my list, 1 and negative 42 add to negative 41, 2 and negative 21. So if I go down the list, I want to add the one, or pick the pair that add up to positive 1. So that would be a positive 7 and a negative 6. So what I want to do is I want to split this term into plus 7n and minus 6n. So 7 and negative 6 are my pair, and then I carry down my constant term, my number term. I carry down my quadratic term or my squared term, 7n squared. Okay, and then you factor by grouping. I'll go ahead and change colors here. I'm going to group these first two together. I can take out 7n. If I take 7n out of 7n squared, I'm left with n. If I take 7n out of 7n, you have to fill that spot with a 1. Very important, because it's the opposite of the distributive property. Then, got to be careful here because my third term is negative, that negative 6n. So if I group those two together, you actually want to take out a negative 6 right there. Remember, you want the things left in parentheses to be the same. If I take a negative 6 out of negative 6n, I'm left with positive n. If I take negative 6 out of negative 6, positive 1. Because remember, you want these two things to match when you factor by grouping. And then you remember your final answer is always two binomials multiplied together. So in one of them, usually I put it in the first one, is your common binomial factor in each half there, n plus 1. And then what goes in the other one is 7n minus 6. And that's how that would factor.